Welcome to ARCO Chronicle. In a few moments, we'll unpack today's most consequential developments in U.S. and global politics with evidence-based analysis and clear sourcing. Subscribe for balanced policy insights. Today, we have Eva McKend, a correspondent covering national politics for CNN. How life changed in a rural town that lost its clinic after Trump's megabill. Churchville, Virginia. As the final hues of autumn linger in the Blue Ridge Mountains, the 200-person community of Churchville, Virginia, is grappling with the loss of its health clinic. Gone are the days of seniors walking down the road from their house to see the town doctor. Augusta Medical Group cited the health care provisions in President Donald Trump's signature legislation, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, for closing the rural clinics in Churchville and 2 other locations. I've called around trying to find a replacement, a new doctor, and for just a well-being appointment, the soonest is the end of January, said Teresa Leach, 56, in an interview while sipping her coffee at the MTN Mystic shop is just a few feet from the shuttered clinic. Leach, who has asthma, said she voted for Trump last year. Democrats are hoping to make health care a defining issue nationally in next year's midterms. But the environment in Churchville illustrates the challenges the party faces, particularly in rural communities. Trump carried Augusta County, which includes Churchville, by nearly 50 points in 2024. Jenna Chrysler, a physician, ran to represent the area in the Virginia House of Delegates and lost this month to the Republican incumbent by more than 40 points, even in a Democratic statewide sweep. How the Trump megabill affected rural health care. Rural health providers that rely on Medicaid funding were already under strain before the bill cut federal health spending by hundreds of billions of dollars over the next decade, primarily by instituting work requirements and more eligibility checks. Lindley Thorne, political director of Rural Ground Game, a group focused on driving up Democratic participation in rural areas, says Democrats will continue highlighting the significance of accessible health care through town hall-style events and canvassing, trying to win back credibility and trust in rural America. I think people have an interest in having real conversations about what's going on with their lives, and there's really nothing that can replace that person-to-person, at-your-doorstep conversation, Thorne said. Chrysler knew she faced long odds when she took on incumbent Delegate Chris Runyon in the state's 35th district. She suggests her race was less about the outcome and more about the need for Democrats to show up everywhere instead of simply surrendering communities where they're outnumbered. I think they are very concerned, and they're going to be even more when it starts hitting them personally, said Chrysler of the clinic closures. A spokesperson for Runyon said he was not available for comment. CNN has reached out to U.S. Representative Ben Cline, a Republican who represents the area in Washington and voted for the Trump policy bill. His office did not respond. Pediatrician Mark Downey defeated incumbent Republican Chad Green in the state's 69th district, which includes Newport News, York, James City, and Gloucester counties. In an interview with CNN, he said it's important Democrats continue to run on health care, even if the message does not immediately resonate with voters. It may not happen overnight. People's minds don't change right away. But when they start seeing loss of access, loss of services, eventually there's going to be a situation where it's not going to be as convenient for them, or more of a hardship for them, said Downey, who had made 2 previous unsuccessful tries for the state legislature. Some people are speaking out. Irene Holmes, 59, moved to Churchville 3 years ago. When her son died, she and her husband wanted a change of scenery from New York. Beset with a host of medical challenges from liver issues to high blood pressure, she relied on and valued the town clinic. I'm a mixed bag of tricks, a lot of medical issues, she said. On politics, she tends to keep her mouth shut to avoid getting into it with her neighbors. But when asked if Trump was to blame for the clinic closure, Holmes said, "Absolutely. What he's done is destroying rural areas," said Holmes. Dale White, a Churchville resident and church administrator, says the concerns about the clinic are overblown. These are old-time rural farming folks, and they've been going to get medical care in Stanton and Fishersville, Waynesboro, and Charlottesville since they can remember, said White. Back at the MTN Mystic Coffee House, shop owner Dane Boos suggests now is the time for rural communities to get creative. To lose the clinic is the same as losing a grocery store or a local provider, Boos said. He suggested the community could band together to find a doctor to make house calls. Maybe that would fit the bill for us, Boos said. It was Eva McKend, a correspondent covering national politics for CNN. You value clarity and objectivity. Please subscribe and enable notifications. Share topics you'd like us to cover in the comments, and join the discussion respectfully. Thank you for watching Arco Chronicle, neutral, evidence-based analysis of U.S. and world politics. See you in the next episode.